He's a grizzled veteran now who's yet to coach his first game at Boston College. Jeff Hafley joins us. Coach, first of all, good morning. And, the last time we touched base with you, it was just a whirlwind. I mean, you didn't know where your luggage was. You thought you knew where your wife and kids were. Nevertheless, I'm assuming that despite the pandemic, things are still probably better than they were the first time we saw you.
Yeah, well, good morning. I appreciate you guys having me on. I don't know if I'm a grizzled veteran, but I feel like I definitely have been here for about 10 years now, and definitely feel like I've aged 5. But yeah, it's still been a whirlwind, but we're practicing right now, so everything kind of feels normal. We're on the field, getting ready to get on the field again today, and just excited to be around the players and the coaches right now.
Coach, there is the momentum of just being on the team and getting the team together and starting to build for the 2020 season. And then, oh, by the way, there's this other thing out there that requires testing and social distancing and all those things. How do you stay on the line of building and not let the other stuff become a distraction when you're trying to accomplish first-year type things with the program?
Well, for the players, we just keep talking about controlling what we can control. And right now that's doing the best we can to stay healthy, which is the most important thing. And then when we get on the field, it's all about football. And that's, probably the only time nobody thinks about what's going on in the outside world is when we step in between the lines and we're on the grass and we're practicing. And then we get into some meetings, and we've just been very, very fortunate. We have a great protocol. We have great leadership from Father Leahy on down. Our doctors have done an unbelievable job. The trainers, the staff's gotten the players to buy in. And more importantly than all that, our players have bought in. Our players have sacrificed so much since they've, moved back to campus. If you look at the numbers, it's incredible. And I give them so much respect and so much credit, and it's a great group.
792 tests, 1 positive. The last go-around was 105 for 105 for the good side. That is commitment, isn't it? I mean, you've got to have great discipline. We've talked about it with every coach known to man over the last 3 to 4 months that, hey, it's one thing to go to work, do your job. It's another thing when you leave the facility. Now you've really got to be disciplined and understand that, hey, you know what? The weakest link here is the biggest problem on our football team or whatever the team might be. And right now, your guys, as you said, have completely, totally bought in and have done a tremendous job.
Yeah, they have. And like I said, the protocols have been great. We feel the players are safe. We feel safe here. But there's so much more than just that, right? I mean, when the day was over in June and July, it's not like we were making sure they were locked down in their room. They sacrificed for one another, and we continue to talk about that. If one guy was selfish and went out and got sick and he put anybody else on this team at risk, we could have lost a lot of players for a long period of time. And we talked about that. And I looked at the seniors, and I had everybody look at the seniors and said, if you don't want to be here, I'm good with you, honestly. You'll still have your scholarship. Let's come back when everything gets better. But if you want to be here, let's do this right, and let's do it for each other. And, look at a guy like Max Richardson. If you go out and you get this virus and you bring it to him, you could potentially ruin his senior year. And it was the buy-in. And you have to give credit to our players and what they've done for each other and what they've given up, because it has been hard. And I don't know if everybody realizes how hard it is for these young kids to come in here and do what they've done. And it's commendable, and it's greatly appreciated from our staff.
Coach, here's the other thing, too. You came from a program, obviously, rock solid, unbelievable success. Now you're coming in where you want to translate some of that value, some of those kind of essentials, right? And to have a guy like Max say, okay, I'll come in and be a part of this on the first year and be on that front line with you. Can you even put a value on what he means to this particular first team, to have a guy of his ability who now, quite frankly, could be a first-team All-ACC guy at the end of the year and take that step with you and the building you're doing?
Yeah, it's huge, and it's the only way we could do it is if we get the leadership from our team. The guys have bought in. The guys have been great. Our staff's been great. But the real leadership has to come from the team. And it's guys like Max and the other seniors we have, guys like Kobe. It's coming from them. And when that happens, it becomes real. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. The leadership has, it's been really, really good.
It was awfully kind of the NCAA to get back to you regarding transfers.
Yeah, I was beginning to worry about that one. I mean, he got here in January. We just found out, but I guess better late than never.
That's great news, though. Finally, all the campaigning worked to finally get, hey, guys in Indianapolis, hello, over here, can we get an answer one way or the other? I mean, it all turned out to be positive news for you.
Yeah, it was great news. And truthfully, I mean, the wait, forget about the wait for me and for the program. The wait for Phil, I know it was starting to really build on him, and the pressure was mounting on him, and it was kind of unfair at the time. And I get it. There's a lot going on, but when he found out, you could just tell it was a huge weight lifted off his shoulders. And just his personality changed, just the way he's been on the field has changed, and just so happy that he's getting the chance to go play football and compete right now.
All right, the battery of the quarterback and the running back for you. Jurkovec and David Bailey. I mean, everybody says, the quarterback and running back sometimes like the pitcher and catcher, right, in baseball. What's the battery now look like for Jeff Hafley in year one, knowing you have Jurkovec to go with a sledgehammer like David Bailey?
Well, it's exciting to watch right now, and I think even more exciting is when you watch our O-line. I mean, that group is so tight, so close. They got good experience, and it's a special group, and they're definitely going to lead the way. And then obviously Bailey really emerged last year. I can't believe how big he is, and he moves the way he does. He catches the ball out of the backfield really well, and he's a great kid. And then, our quarterback situation right now, you get Dennis, who obviously played a lot of football last year, and Phil, and then Sam Johnson and Vallecchi and Maynard, and you got a lot of good guys in there. But just talking about Phil, like you guys started to, just another big guy. I mean, we weighed him in pads the other day, and he's about 250 pounds in his full uniform, and he's fast, and he has an NFL arm. And, he's going to learn. He hasn't played a lot of football, and he hasn't had a lot of live bullets. But each day he gets better. I think Frank Signetti is one of the best quarterback coaches in all of football at any level. And he's doing a phenomenal job with Phil. And just really excited to see the group. And all those quarterbacks have improved. But it's been fun to watch. And, again, I'm just glad we're practicing. I mean, it's a time I kind of put everything away and say, this is fun.
By the way, Coach, David Bailey was on the show not too long ago, and I know he won't say this, so I'll say it for him. He wanted us to remind you that he's got good hands. I know you like his size and his power, and coming from Ohio State, man, we're going to pound it and shove it down your throat. But he's like, hey, you know what? I can catch out of the backfield. So I'm just saying, as you start prepping for game days coming up here, hopefully in September, a little swing pass to the big man, he's good to go on that one.
He can catch. I kind of joke with those guys. He has really good hands. When you look at him, you wouldn't think he does, but he can catch the ball. So we'll definitely figure out ways to move him around. He could be a matchup issue.
All right, Coach Hafley, here's the other thing. The moving target, not only in trying to get this program going, has also been the schedule. We've had almost like a full reset on the schedule. The schedule you got in February lasted until June, July. You probably knew there was going to be some shakeup. And now all of a sudden you've got this whole new dynamic. And in your case, I guess the first game is now off the chart. You maybe try to find somebody, just go with the 10 league games, which means you start on the road at Duke, I guess.
Yeah, and just still waiting to hear on that, whether we fill in that first week or whether we open up with Duke at Duke. Truthfully, when I got the schedule, I was just fired up that there was a schedule. And then when we got the dates on the schedule, I was even more excited because it became more real. And I could show the kids that, look, they got a schedule with dates, and we're going for this. So, I've said it. I mean, I just want to play football. And if we're able to in a safe manner and everybody feels good about it and the doctors give us a thumbs up, we want to play football. It's what we do. And, whether it was Clemson 10 times on the schedule or the schedule we have now, I mean, I can't change that, and I can't get mad about who scheduled and how we scheduled. Let's just go play football if we're able to and do the best we can and see where we stack up in year one.
Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Ohio State, because I know BC is obviously your bread and butter, and that's what you're concentrating on, but you develop great relationships with that staff and that team, and it's one of the premier programs in the country. The fact that a week ago the Big Ten decided, no, we just can't make this work. We're going to opt out and hopefully play spring football. What did that mean to you? Because it gave you an opportunity, obviously, from a teaching lesson with your current team to say, listen, take advantage of what we can do. There's some teams that can't play this fall. But that had to hurt a little bit because obviously the ties that you had for the institution, it's a great school, it's a great football program. You know the players there. I'm just curious to get your take about what happened a week ago with the Big Ten and also the Pac-12.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a lot of emotions, right? Because they canceled, and what do you think that does to our kids at the time? It's, all of a sudden they begin to doubt, is the ACC going to play? I mean, you get the Big Ten and Pac-12 canceling, and I'm sure there was doubt creeping into our players' minds as well. So at first, we had to kind of talk about that. And then we did what you guys just said. Then we flipped it. And, I coached a lot of those guys at Ohio State last year who, they're so upset and disappointed that they can't play. So think about how fortunate we are right now to still be in the position to play and actually get on the field and go practice. And I keep saying that that's the key because we really haven't practiced together. So we're fortunate to still be being able to do that. And, I've talked to Ryan Day quite a few times, and there's a bunch of the players that I've spoke with that came back for either a fifth year or it is their last year, and they're great kids, and I know they're really hurting inside, and you just wish that they had maybe prolonged it a little bit and let them practice and kind of wait it out to see what happened. But, again, I'm not a doctor. I have a hard enough time following everything that I hear every single day, so it's hard for me to speculate on what happened, but I just feel for those guys and for that team, really. That's a talented team, probably would have been the most talented team in the country, and it's hard. It's hard to see that.
Well, we wish you all the best. I know it's just one step at a time, right? One day at a time kind of in getting to your first year, but I tell you look pretty damn good for a guy, that's kind of been put through the ringer in year one so far. I'm not kidding.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll tell you what, it has to be one day at a time because at one point I was trying to look ahead and I felt like my head was going to explode. So if I look any further than tomorrow, I have no chance, none. Because when I get to work every day, I look at our ops guys and I ask if the building's still standing, and if it is, I'm full speed ahead to practice.
Coach, the good news is you're still undefeated, man. Still got a 0 in the loss column. That's right.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot for the time.
You got it. Best of luck.
Absolutely.
Stay safe.
We appreciate it.